and whatnot. But I can tell you, sometimes non-state actors can also play a part. And I'm going to, this is recorded. Okay, I got it. What did I say? Um, non-state actors also have a part to play. And sometimes what they can do is much easier, much impactful. So I would like to share with you what we can do towards 2050. I'm very connected to Lund. Yeah. So I'm part of Royal Physiographic Society of Lund, Sweden. There are two societies in Sweden. One in Stockholm that give people Nobel Prize, and the other one in Lund. They are not giving any. They're giving research funds. That's what we are trying to do. So I was fellow since 2012. Okay, why Sweden important for me? And why most of people from Scandinavians, when I talk about this fact, they didn't realize the importance to the world. I spent most of my career as professor connected to people in Sweden, in Denmark, two countries that I really pay attention to. And in Sweden, largely in Lund. And then in Denmark is in Copenhagen. So this is very small group of people, less than 25 million, but they have very big impact. I can tell you, Gustav Olsson, a professor here, emeritus, used to say to us, problems become opportunities. So whatever you have, you make it good. Say, for example, if you have darkness, you invent a lot of new technology on lighting so that you can get variety of lightings. Yeah. You are very exemplary in sustainability and very good in leadership quality. Therefore, despite the number of people here are small, but leaderships in terms of ideas are very big, not only to this region in Europe, but also to the world. People were not able to understand what sustainability all about 40 years ago. When I studied, this is historical, in the 1989 in England. So we were introduced the word sustainability. So I tried to find the words in dictionary. It was not in the dictionary then. Sustainability or sustainable, that position, that period of time was referring to you can continue your business. Your business is sustainable, means that your children or your successors will look after your business when you die or you retire. But in the context, I think it's very important for us to understand that. Then we have also learning society. So this is important. I have put ecosophy deep. I'm writing a book with Gustav Olsson at the moment. We are sharing or exchanging letters on Scandinavia with special reference on ecosophy. Yeah. So this is something I'm going to talk about. Planetary health started in Sweden as well, in Stockholm. Sustainable development, yes, this is a report in 1992, if not mistaken, from this part of the world. Blogging, cycling culture, and we have also, I'm not sure where this girl, Greta Thunberg, she was very famous 5 years ago or before that. And what trigger most people, despite sustainability is there, you can still have development of economic growth. So this example is very telling. Many countries thought that if you embark on sustainability, low carbon kind of activities, there will be no growth in the country because you require energy from fossil fuel. You have to cut trees, you have to do many things, you know. So it should be perpendicular. It's not departing or decoupling like this. So this is only happening at the moment in Scandinavian countries. No other places in the world you can get this graph. I'm telling you, in Malaysia, I was responsible for 6 ministries in the past: higher education, environment, water, energy, green technology, health. This is not what we get. Yeah. So yes, we are growing this way, GDP growth, but our carbon emission is lower. but the same trajectory. Yeah, but it's not as what you have in Scandinavia. This is the graph for Sweden. And on top of that, many people realize the importance of these small companies in many parts of the world. I'm not selling anything here. I just telling you, despite 20 less than 25 million people, you have a lot of big names in yeah. I have 3 grandchildren, so we have to buy Lego for them. So and whatnot. Okay, I don't want to go and repeat what Corinne's and other professors doing. I think they have told you what's our problem, how to solve the problem. But there are 2 ways to do it. One is systemic solution, the other one non-systemic. Assuming we are going on systemic solution to solve environmental issues, to solve water issues, to solve climate change and whatnot. So at least we have what is important here, and probably not many part of the world you can find, which is green lifestyle. Yeah, so well, this morning I walk around Lund city or town? City, yeah. In Malaysia, the definition of city is 500,000 population. Yeah, if you take that, yes, we call it small city. So I was counting the number of cars on the road at 7 a.m. this morning. So I hardly get more than 20 cars. There are buses, trucks sending food and products and whatnot, but very little cars on the street that people traveling from point A to point B. Most of them this morning, I'm not sure about other days, they were walking, they were cycling. Yeah, so this is something important. So this is green lifestyle and low carbon society, circular economy, and now in many parts of the world, it is a must to have corporate ESG, environment, social, and governance. So it's also happening in Malaysia. The one that I put in red is happening everywhere in the world now. But the one I put in yellow is only happening in few countries in the world. So I tell you what I can observe. Number one is cycling. This morning, I told you. And it's not only in Sweden, in Denmark, probably in Finland, in France, in Netherlands, and whatnot. So this is very obvious. In the past, in countries like Malaysia, if you cycle, means that you don't have money to buy a car. So people say that, why you cycle to work? I tried to cycle to work when I was at the Ministry of Environment. Why? Because the distance was not far. And the second, I was responsible for climate change and whatnot. So it's not good for me not to drive around. And 9.8 kilometer is good to cycle. So I used to cycle to work, and it took me about 32 minutes to 35 minutes to arrive office. If I take car, it take me almost the same time. Yeah. So because of traffic light, and we have about 8 traffic lights before I arrive in my office. So every traffic light, you have to stop for 2 minutes or 1 minute. So you can catch up with the cars in front of you. Second is walking. So this is not common in many parts of the world. People thought that countries like Denmark, Sweden, it's easy for you to walk, but this morning was not easy. There was about 6 degrees Celsius. I was on the road, and I have to wrap myself with 2 jackets, and I'm from Malaysia, okay? So 2 jackets and yeah, 4 layers to walk this morning. So that's not very easy. And this is also important now, which is plugging. Yeah, I told Corinne, since about 3 years ago, I started running now, because in the past, I collect rubbish without running. So I walk and collect rubbish. So my friend said, that is not plugging. Plugging, you must jogging. Yeah, as a result, I jog, and as a result, I take part in half marathon at the moment. So at the age of 58 then, 57, 58, I took marathon instead of just cycling. So these are impact you can find if you think of green lifestyle. Question, you don't need government in policy to do all these three. If you alone, with your friends, you can do plugging and your area will be clean. Yeah, you need only probably 5 people in that neighborhood, your area will be clean. So therefore, the role of non-state actors are very crucial in lifestyle of systemic solutions. If you think of low carbon society, there will be rules and whatnot. So yeah, people can do because there is rules to it. Circular economy, you have to invest a lot. But lifestyle is very important. And for me, before you do the rest, you have to have lifestyle, which is palatable to sustainability. Otherwise, they do it not because of they have to do it by awareness and conscious, but they have to do it because of the law. And they will cheat from time to time. And some of them are doing it because of greenwashing. So this is very important for me. Yeah. And this is the easiest way for us to demonstrate our concern. So I told my colleagues, let's do it. Yeah. Uh, and started in Sweden. So we have to be proud, Corinne, you have to be proud. Alda, you have to be proud because it started because of that, I have to find a word for plugging in my language, in Malay language. So we use it and we found a word and it is widely used now. The word is kuda. Kuda is kutip sampah, means collecting rubbish. Samiriada. So uh, we don't put jogging in it because not many people will jog. So therefore, because I'm not jogging, I cannot participate in plugging. Yeah. So you see that you're walking, it will not plugging, it will be plucking. Yeah, instead of plugging. So we have to find new words for that in my language. So it's now common since 3 years ago. After COVID, people use kuda in Malaysia. So they're doing the same thing. So I give you an example. This is 2017. We created Friends of Langat River. This is while I was Secretary General in charge of environment. Because there are many things that I cannot do. Say, for example, this is territory of municipality and Ministry of, in charge of environment, they are federal ministry. It's a federation. If you think of, I'm not sure here, if you think of United States, this is under White House. It's not under states. There are many states. There are 50 states. They are trying to get another. This is what's happening. It's supposed to be a responsibility of state to look after this rubbish. The question in countries like Malaysia in tropical regions, you cannot keep your rubbish. It will be deteriorating very fast. Degradation take very fast. If you allow rubbish to be there for one day, it will be smelly. And the rubbish collections only come to your house within 2 days. So if you miss the first day means that you have to wait for another 4 days. So many people, when they miss, because rubbish collector come very early in the morning, they come before 7 sometimes, or before 8 in the morning, you have to throw the rubbish. Where to throw the rubbish? Otherwise, there will be scavengers coming to your house, rats, dogs, cats, birds, and whatnot coming to your house. So the best thing is to get rid of them. So many people found places where they can get rid. So example of this, the river is next to it. The river is not that clean, so you can see the river, a muddy part of that photos. So that is the background of the river. And with that quality plus the rubbish, make the whole thing very difficult. So I put a challenge to community around that. How can we solve the problem? Solution, ring the municipality, ask them to collect. And put big sign, don't throw rubbish here, you will be fined 2,000 ringgit, which is about 4,000 Swedish krona. But people still throw the rubbish. Why? What option they have if they miss the rubbish collection schedule? So we met in my house. This foreign went to my house, and then we decided. This gentleman, two ladies, uh, decided we clean this area ourselves. Yeah. So the following weekends we went out. We do plugging. We do kuda, and we clean everything. And we said, no, it's not sufficient. Kuda alone will not solve the problem. because people still have no value to that particular site. So we have to give value to that particular site by converting them into something interesting. So we have river trails and we have river park. So we build ourselves river park and river trails. What we do, say for example, this is in our, this is my uh, posting in Facebook. We would like to do blogging on this date and that date. If you are interested, you come in. And a lot of people, and we tell people it's only 2 hours, 8 to 10 a.m. in the morning. And you don't have to do anything. You just bring your equipments, your tools to clean this area. And suddenly people call, okay, I have machine. What can I do with my machine? So I said, can you remove the solid waste? Can you deepen our river tributaries? So there are 104 tributaries of this river. Langat River is the second biggest river in the vicinity of Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur is the smallest capital city in Asia Pacific. We have only 5 million population. That's the smallest. Bangkok, 20 million. Jakarta, 20 million. Yeah. So the smallest is Kuala Lumpur, which is about 5 million. So we have two rivers crossing the city. So one of them is this. And we have at least 5 water treatment plant, big water treatment plant, 2 dams that keep the water flowing. So with pollution, we'll not be able to solve. So our initiative, not government initiative, but these guys, 9 of them, they are professionals. Most of them are water engineers, yeah, and scientists, and some of them professors. So what we did, we say that if everyone look after tributary of rivers crossing your area, crossing your neighborhood, make them clean, then the river finally will be clean. Yeah, so we start with solid waste first. Make sure that solid waste is not entering the river ecosystem. And then we can think of other qualities. Say, for example, there are a lot of gray water discharges to this river. Yeah, so we can talk about that. But what I'm saying, this is not done by government. This is done by non-state actors that can change the river ecosystem. If you ask government to do the cleaning, that can cost them about 2 million kroner per session, per probably, I don't know, per activities. But we use only about 300 ringgit. 300 ringgit is about 600 kroner. Yeah, that is mainly for the food. I think you spend less, 600 kroner for the food. Yeah, little bit more. So you can have cleaning activity somewhere with 600 kroner. This is another river, not far from, this is another stream of rivers. So we do the same within 1 month. You can see the changes. Rivers, very turbidity is due to 2 things. One, because of the sediment, which is very high. So the sediments that define the water in terms of the appearance. Yeah, when we remove the stability, the sediment, so the sediment became gravels, sands, and it helps to clean the river. So this is one example what we have done. And this is done with the community. So in Paris Agreement, there are 3 things that we have to understand. I was Secretary General in charge of environment and water and energy for about 56 months. 56 months in government is very long. Yeah? It is close to 5 years. So I was heading Malaysian delegation to COP. I was also a head of negotiation team in 2 COPs. So this is what COPs is all about. Paris Agreement is all about. Number 1, limit the average global temperature not to exceed 2 degrees Celsius and achieve net zero by mid-century. Number 2, enhance resilience and adaptation to climate change. Number 3 is align the financial flows to meet the objectives. So this is what we call climate mitigation, and this is what we call climate resilient adaptation. And this is climate financing. So in every COPs, this is what we are talking about. Who is going to do this? Who is going to do that? If I have to do this, who is going to pay? So there are 2 parties in COP. One is what we call Annex 1 countries consist of 46 OECD countries, including Sweden. The other one, non-Annex 1. Non-Annex 1 is other countries, including Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, because Singapore is too little. They are not able to become Annex 1 countries. And the rest, including China, India. So every time we meet, there are two meetings for information. One in October, November, 2 weeks. And then prior to that is a preparatory meeting, which is in July. So the July meeting is more important because this is when officers like me will start to negotiate. And when we agree, we have to come back to the government. This is what we agreed in July. And normally the meeting is in Bonn, where UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, located. So in that meeting, we are arguing and we are reporting as well. So people are asking us whether your report is good or not. There are two reports. One is what we call biennial update reports by non-Annex 1 countries, and Annex 1 countries submitting their biennial transparency report. So this is all to be audited and then to be examined. So when I was in Bonn 2000, 2002 or 2022 or 23, I forgot. I was presenting Malaysian reports, and it was like doctoral thesis presentation. 4 questions from America, 4 questions from Japan, a few questions from Sweden and whatnot. So I have to answer that within 1 hour. It's not like PhD thesis, and this is all data. Yeah. So where you get this data, whether you have proxy data for this and that kind of stupid question. So you have to answer. Yeah. Otherwise, your country will be in danger because you are not presenting proper. And all this data are available on the net. You just write down the name of your country, you go to UNFCCC, and then write down Sweden, BUR, say for example, 3 or BUR 5, or whatever. You can get all the data. So this is what I'm asking you to do. So as country negotiate, they have to renew the commitment. Commitment is in the form of what we call NDC, Nationally Determined Contribution. This is commitment. So countries are making commitment, and some countries, they said, oh, I committed, I want to increase the commitment. Malaysia has increased our commitment. Sweden, I think they have increased commitment various times. And not only increasing mitigation, but also increasing financial contributions, say, for example. And then there is a compliance mechanism. So I don't want to duplicate you, make sure to take this into action after agreeing on a Paris Agreement in 2015 until 2014, then we agree the whole thing. It took us 9 years to discuss on the details so that Paris Agreement can work 100%. Yeah, 9 years. And some countries, after agreeing, they came back to their parliament, they lost in election. So when new government coming, they said, we don't recognize the commitment of previous country. Yeah, that's happening in many parts of the world. Therefore, we need public participation. So there are many things public can do ourselves without relying on who in charge in the government. So my message to you, if you are from Sweden, if you are from other countries, let's do this. We can rely on our government, but some governments, sometimes they make U-turn. Some, they reduce the commitment. Some, they cannot do it because it's too difficult for them. Some countries, I give you an example, in order to replace their power plant from fossil fuel, they have to get investors. And because the government is not stable, no one will invest in your country. So as a result, if you want to do it based on what you have agreed, you have to have a kind of financial support from countries that supposed to help. So I give you an example. There is one country, they disagree on, so number 2 is to be done by non-annex countries. But non-annex countries can also do number 1, but it has to be paid accordingly. So this is where we can have carbon credit, carbon transfer, and whatnot. So the mechanism is in number 3. So this country, they just mentioned about 3% commitment of reduction from the year 2005. And all 3% require about, I don't know, about 300 billion USD, and it must be paid. Otherwise, we will not do anything. Yeah, so that kind of commitment they have. So they want to use Paris Agreement as a bargaining power for them. So unless public in general understand, we do this because whoever in power, we have to do it because it's very important for us, vital. So public participation will not be able to be impactful if your role is only voting. When you are voting a government, yes, before election, after elected, they found that, oh, it's very difficult, I cannot do it. Yeah, you have to wait for 4 years or 5 years for them to be changed. So therefore, non-state action can be very important. And there are many ways we can do without government or state actions. So this is what I'm trying to do now. So recently in Bonn, so this is in July 2023, UNFCCC presented a recognition and accountability framework for climate action. So in the past, recognition is only given to state actors. Therefore, head of state must come to COP to show their commitment. So now accountability is for non-state actors for climate action. So this is very important. So we will discuss who are these non-state actors that we have to deal with. Okay, as this example, yeah, this is simply I don't want this anymore. So please take us out from the equation. So this is state action. He's a very nice man. But there are many other leaders like this. They are not as powerful, but they are doing the same quietly because they have no resources. They are in danger of say, for example, if you want to change the energy system, they are in danger of insufficiency of electricity in the country, say, for example. Yeah. So number one, non-state actors are international agencies that includes UNFCCC, yeah, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. They are not government. Academia, Corinne, Elda, whoever here, professors and students, you are part of it. We can do whatever we want to do. We don't have to get agreement from government to do your thesis. Do you need to do that? Get agreement from Prime Minister office or President office? No need. Non-government organization. So I started Friends of Rivers Malaysia. I'm the existing president. Yeah, no one can disturb us. We do it. We are not anarchists. We are friends of us. Corporate public figures, media, writers, instance. There are some we are very vocal in things sometimes. I was student leader in the past. But I think we can also be vocal on what everyone should be doing, yeah, on individual basis. So this is an example. She's from Sweden. So you must remember that people look at Sweden very high.
It seems you're muted.
We cannot hear you.
Yeah, yeah. So, no, I've already unmute. Yeah. So this is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm not attached to any single university. Instead, am I okay now? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay because I say online.
Yeah. So I'm
We can
traveling around.
see.
Now I was in Chalmers, and then since yesterday I was in Lund. I'm going to KTH afterwards, yeah, and then going to Denmark and other places. So it's nice if you retire, Corinne, make sure that you have something else to do. If you don't want to travel around the globe, you just travel to Malaysia. But as a result, I have to plant about 600 trees for this journey. Yeah, I just want to show people that it is not a free journey. I have to pay carbon offsetting as well. It's okay. Many people, many students, when you do PhD, masters, whatever, you are busy with data. You are.
It's something wrong. You need to share your presentation again because I think you closed it down.
Where did I? Helda, can you help? I'm disconnected. Enlarge this. And then share the green button. Oh yeah, Pablo, you say first. So I'm okay.
And in presenter view. Yeah, that.
Yeah, we are connected again. Yeah. So so most students, when they do PhD, they are busy with data. Everyone's talking about data. This morning, prior to this event, someone telling me that data is available, but where is the data? And then after we get data, we put data in a proper classification and whatnot. It became information. And then your thesis is known as knowledge. Yeah. Therefore, when you submit your thesis, master's thesis, PhD thesis, you are presenting a body of knowledge or contributing to the body of knowledge. But people like me, we have not done that anymore. What we are here to is to help you to give an insight uh, from what we have been doing. What's the definition? What is the impact? So this is something very important. Recently, I went to Boston, and the dean of Harvard Business School presented four things important for business school. Yeah, number one is section experience. So they put people in small groups. They are learning in a group of 6, learning 5, something like that. And second, they have residential campus. So it's not here in Lund. It's not here in Malaysia as well. But in countries like in places like Oxford, Cambridge, they have a residential experience. In some universities, make it requirement. Yeah, you have to stay with your learning colleagues so that you are learning together. The fourth one is outstanding faculty. So you have to have people like Corinne, like Gustav, blah, 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 to teach people, because this is very important. And the most important thing for them now is experiential learning. Yeah, you have to be able to experience the learning process. And this is very difficult because some of the professors, they are not trained on the field. They are trained doing research and then publish and then teach. So some people are very fortunate. Probably I'm one of them. So we have done research, we have done teaching, we have done many things at university, and I had 12 years experience doing what I preached when I was in university. Yeah, to do it and how difficult it was. And since I was not a politician, I'm the Secretary General. Secretary General means that person, the highest in the official position supporting the government, which is the minister. Minister are politicians, all of them. So this is very important for us to understand. And their perspective is different. When I was here teaching wastewater engineering with Corinne, she shared 16 hours with me. So I had 16 hours. You can give me 16 hours, no issue. Yeah. So I give some indication. At that time, yes, from academic perspective, if you ask me to teach the same subject, the same slide, I will do it slightly differently. Yeah, because it's not as easy as what we thought. Yeah. So this 100 days is for me to share this experience. And at the moment, I'm chairman of MQA. This is accreditation agency in Malaysia. It means that all academic programs in Malaysia are accredited. If you want to do mobility program, you are safe. Means that your teaching partners in universities in Malaysia are all accredited. Yeah, we don't use American accreditation programs. So for example, many parts of the world, in Middle East in particular, whatever program they have, accredited by ABET, so for example, American accreditation program for engineering. So in Malaysia, we use MQA. So MQA is very, very important. And at the moment, I'm helping on higher education governance at this university. And I was at UTM and also trying to promote higher education in Malaysia. So this is partly promotion as well. Okay, there are three things before I go slightly deeper that important for me to share with you. One is the roles of higher education in understanding global issues. I found that many professors, many students now, they are tied to the roles of academic portfolio. If they are head of organization, they try to be as close. But if they are just professor doing research, they feel that my role is just to supervise my student, my teach student, publish as much, and that's it. Yeah. Whereas if you take that opportunity to be non-state actors, you can do a lot of other things. Yeah, so this is very important. The topics of research of importance to us, probably not many of us will be Nobel Prize candidates. I would say only about 0.1% of academic fraternity will be candidates. So if you know that you will not, after the age of 50, but you know already you will not be material for Nobel Prize. So do something more uh, impactful to the world and to the country at large. That is more meaningful for many of us. Say, for example, how many of us doing research on plugging? How many dirt and solid waste on the streets that being removed? What other categories? Prior to that, what's happening? Is that improving the degradation of our rivers, say, for example? About 25 years ago, a professor from Kyoto University showed me a research studies between a river close to highways and a river far from big roads, big highways. And the river from highways has more inorganic materials because of the dirt from heavy vehicles, the oils, fuels coming from big vehicles and whatnot. So you can see that inorganics is increased probably by 100 times compared to inorganics where big highways is not there. There was a recent study in Malaysia indicating that big highways contribute to flash floods. It's not only big highways block or give rooms to more cars on the street, but also create flash floods because when contractors build big highways, they must make sure that water is to be discharged as fast as possible. And they make the gradients for the water to be flow, the velocity to be highest as possible. So as a result, downstream, you find a lot of flooding occurred in not only in Malaysia, in many places in the world. Yeah. Okay, these are major questions I have mentioned earlier. Often we feel that we are too weak to contribute because we are not part of the political system, but actually you can do a lot of things. Yeah, and when I was Secretary General in charge of environment, When I want to do quick things, and then it must be done efficiently, I choose to work with NGOs rather than going to the bureaucracy. Yeah, the bureaucracy, you have to get approval on spending money. That's number one. So spending money for next year is this year. And then they will debate in parliament whether that money should be spent or not, blah, blah, blah. And then they approve the spending so you can spend next year. So you cannot spend on the 1st January of the year. But the money is not flowing to your pocket. There are processes, blah, blah, blah. By probably end of January, you can spend the money. And you cannot spend the money like that. You have to make tender, you have to make bidding process, blah, 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 blah. So by the end of September, you know who is going to implement the projects. And the project could be very simple. And then they started, oh, I don't have enough facilities. People are not yet being hired and whatnot. So the first project to be take off will be January the following year when you have everything done. If you engage NGOs and you ask them, we do it, this is what we need, and they will ask, is there any money? We say, no money. Okay, we do it ourselves. They can have crowdfunding and whatnot. They can have people who are interested to save our environment come. This is very important for us. Bring your vehicles, bring your machine, bring your whatever. We do it this weekend. And the cost is only 600 kroner. That's what I'm saying. Instead of you ask government to do it. Yeah. So this is very depressing sometimes. The same thing happened to other initiative here. Why it's not working? Helda is not moving. Okay, this could be my last thing I want to do. So how to change? There are many things. I think the same, you can do it in environment, education, organization, health system, and whatnot. So I think we have to go back to the textbook that I've learned when I was in school. In order to do something, we have to define what will be the outcomes. Outcomes is more than outputs. Output is more than results. Yeah, results, output, and outcomes. So the result of your exams will be the outputs of the departments. So we have 100 students, 95% of them pass. So your result is result. Passing that is the output of the department because we can graduate 95% of them. But overall, we have workforce in environmental engineering, say for example, enough to support the needs of the country. So that is the output, the outcomes. So in order to do that, we have to have three things. One is what we call structure. The other one we call strategy. Then the other one we call culture. Yeah. So this is all about structures. Structures define the organizational framework. You merge this department and that department because this department is more powerful. They can help the other department. Professors are more here, research, blah, blah. That is typical. That is structure things. So this morning, Corinne mentioned to me about changes in the structure of the departments. Yeah, that's structure. Yeah. And not only that, the curriculum probably we change. In the past, there is no blogging, but now we have blogging. I have research on blogging for information. Yeah. Training of trainers. So what is strategy? Strategy is, well, there are many ways to understand strategy. Say, for example, there are blue ocean strategy, there are high impact, low cost strategy, head-to-head strategy is what Trump is doing. Outcome-driven strategy. So you have to choose which one you would like to have. But please remember, the result is changes that as a result of outcomes. And it must be cultural. Why cultural? If they are not cultural, there will be problems. So this is example. It's a book written by Michael Barber. Michael Barber is one of the leading advisor to the government of Britain during Tony Blair. He mentioned that there are two ways we do it. One is to have a bold in reform. We want to change. We want to change the government. We want to throw this out. We want to do this, blah, blah, blah. That is bold. The other one is just to have quality execution. We improve from time to time. Many people say that, oh, this is too little. But remember, you don't sit in that position for 20 years. Sometimes you have only 2 years. I know when I was in any ministry, I was appointed as Secretary General, I have maximum of 3 years. Sometimes the best time, probably about 2 years. Yeah, and then you are too good, so we move you to places where you need more help. People need more help than this ministry, say for example. So if you are too good, people move you because they want other places to be improved as well. If you are too bad, people remove you because you are too bad. We want something else, someone else to do. So, you have very limited time. Unlike you are king of the country, you'll be there until you die. So not many of us will be king, of the country. So you have that issue. So most of us, say for example, we have 10, make it 20 next year. And then improve from time to time. While doing that, we have a lot of changes. So this is my history of life. I have written many books. Books are indicating my thought at that time, because if you write papers, you have someone to vet through, and then whether I can publish or not, whatever. So at the same time, I wrote, so far I have written 52 books. And this is the book with Monhenza, that book that I've written with my colleagues in Malaysia. So started with environmental engineering and then environmental policy. So I found that environmental policy will not move people. There are many things that we do policy-wise. People are not changing. People are not willing to do that. I give you an example. We said that we have to connect everyone to sewer network, because some places they use septic tank. So what government does, we build sewer network in front of their house, and they have to connect to the sewer network. So the cost of sewer connection is probably between 1 to 2,000 USD. So they say that we don't have money, or we don't want to do it, despite you have spent billions to provide the facility. And you must remember, in wastewater treatment plant, in order to have enough waste, we have to invest in sewer network. Mostly 70% are sewer network, 30% is wastewater treatment plant. Yeah, the more you spend on sewer, the less you spend on wastewater treatment plant. So in the context of Malaysia, I'm telling you, in Malaysia, about 10% people are not willing to connect because they have to use their own money. Yeah, Corinne, we have less time now. Okay. So a study that done by Anna Nis in 1973, published in Inquiry, was my basis to write some books. Yeah? This is the book that I've written, EcoShift. I've been talking about this for many years already. When I was here in 2019, I was talking about this book. And later, I wrote a book on Japanese ecosophy. So it's a lot of people in Japan interested to teach environmental management using that book. So it's translated into English, into Japanese. And this is a book, this is mainly for people from Muslim countries. Sometimes you cannot understand this. Yeah? Then I ask my colleagues to do it together with me. So this has been in many publications already. You can see that prior to 2020, people are concentrating on regulatory. And we found that people are not moving. You said that you cannot throw rubbish here, you will be fined for 4,000 kroner. People are still, because they see, oh, no one looking at me. So this is happening in many parts of the world. So, and then now we are talking about lifestyle. Therefore, when I mentioned my earlier slide, green lifestyle, this is different. So we go beyond regulatory. Yeah, so that's very important. In the past, it's self-awareness. So not many people are self-awareness. And then systemic, ISO 14,000, ISO 28,000, you name it, blah, 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 yeah? But now lifestyle, people willingly to do that, yeah? That is very important. Focus, for example, in the past on pollution, now is on carbon footprint. Everything we can convert into carbon footprint. So therefore, we have SDG, and Scandinavian is the best place for you to learn this. So if you do that, the policy-wise is only capture until 2020 kind of thing. You cannot go beyond that. You go beyond that, you need what we call ecosophy. Yeah, this is environmental philosophy. It must be related to your thinking, your belief in life, and whatnot. So therefore, when I wrote this book, 3 books I mentioned. This is EcoShift that I mentioned about environmental ecosophy, and this is Japanese ecosophy. In Japan, when you said about uh, carbon footprint, they can understand. But you say mottainai, that's different. Mottainai means don't waste and waste not. Not only uh, um, uh, throwing rubbish, but also in terms of time management. In Japan, it's common for you to watch in television that CEO of companies providing train services apologize because they are fast by 40 seconds. I repeat, fast by 40 seconds. Because they stop only 1 minute. So fast by 40 seconds means that you have only 20 seconds to catch the train. So they apologize. Sorry, because we fast by 40 seconds. Yeah, so this is happening. Mottainai. And waste as well, not only solid waste. I mentioned many times when I was doing this book, I was in Japan, and my landlord mentioned to me about importance for me to throw rubbish accordingly. And we had 18 rubbish bins, 18 rubbish bins. This is for this type of bottle. So say, for example, this, you have 3 rubbish bins. One is the top, second is the bottle, third is the wrappers. Just to mention one rubbish item, there are 3 that you have to put in. So that is very important for them. Yeah. But from Islamic ecosophy, say, for example, you have to say that this is halal. Halal means acceptable. You can do it, permissible. And Tayyib means good. Say, for example, sugar is halal, but it is not good if you take in excessive quantity. That is how they understand. So what I'm saying here, when you approach people, you have to think what they're thinking. And then you can mobilize people. You can ask them to go to river, you ask them to plug, whatever, when you can talk the same language. So I stop here for a while. Thank you, Corinne.
Thank you very much, Zaini, for inspiring lecture. And I think at least I have had some new thoughts today. And I hope all of you, both here in the room and online, have had some new thoughts. We have to leave the room now, but both Zaini and I will stay outside the room. If there are some very urgent questions online, Hilde is there. You can have no questions so far.